Michael was waiting in the waiting room at his local optician's when a girl approached him and said to him, "Hello, Michael. Here is a sheet you need to fill out, and your eye test will be $30. And if you would like a full 3D scan of your eye to see will there be any problems for you within the next 4 years with your eyesight, then it will be another $25. So you can tick the box if you'd like to have the scan as well as the eye test, and someone will be down to see you for your eye test very soon. Thank you." Michael thanked the girl and filled out the sheet. He decided to get the scan done, considering it a very good idea to know if he will have any problems with his eyes down the road. And 4 years is a very good time range to know beforehand. When Michael entered the room, he was told to rest his chin on a chin rest and look through 2 holes while a girl introduced herself as Sarah. She asked him various questions, which colour was better for him, red or green, and the test went on a few minutes. It ended with Michael having to read out different letters from different lines. Sarah asked, "Could you read the top 3 lines please, Michael?" Michael said, "E, F, P, T, O, Z. Sarah said, "Very good. Now could you please read the 4th line?" He read them, L, P, E, D. Very good. Now if you could read the last 2 lines please, but it will be getting a bit harder. Michael was pleased to be able to read them. P, E, C, F, D, E, D, F, L, O, P, Z, D, D, E, F, P, O, T, E, C, L, E, F, O, D, P, C, T. Then it came to the scan. Michael was asked to put his eyes on the chin rest again while his eyes were being scanned. Sarah was looking at her screen afterwards, explaining to Michael that everything with his eyes was in great health and he just had to get a bit stronger prescription for his glasses. Michael chose a red pair of glasses and was very happy everything seemed okay. That night when he got home, it started first. He kept getting a vision of some man in a black suit shooting him. He found out by the opticians they had no person by the name of Sarah working in the opticians. He put it down to the eye test why he was getting these crazy visions. The visions went on for months and months of the man shooting him. One night when he was walking, he got such a fright as the man who was in his visions who shot him was walking towards him. Michael panicked when he saw the man put his hand in his pocket, guessing it was a gun to shoot him. So Michael couldn't think of anything else but to push the man into a car that was just passing. The man lied on the street, and before he died he said to Michael, "I just wanted to give you back your wallet you dropped." A week later, Michael was arrested for murder and realised that it wasn't only the optician could see what happened to his eyes the next 4 years, but he could see what happened to him. But he couldn't figure out, why did the man only want to give him back his wallet when he had visions that he was going to kill him? He'd only wanted to give him back his wallet. That's what Michael could not figure out. Suddenly, when he was walking out of court, being convicted of murder, a man exactly like the man he killed walked up to him and pulled out a gun and said, "You bastard, you killed my twin brother," and he shot Michael between his eyes. Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you want to stay up to date on new content, then please subscribe and be sure to hit the bell to be notified on new content. Jim was invited to a meeting with a huge TV station boss, and he was very nervous, but at the same time very excited. When he arrived at the office, he couldn't believe what he was about to hear. The boss spoke. "We can supply you with the answers to win and become the champion in the next episode of the Super Quiz Show. Now please don't tell your friend about what I said, because if you do, trust me, it won't work out good for you. I practically own the networks that have all the big shows on. So if you want to go with this plan, great, but if not, then just forget about it and don't tell anyone." Jim was speechless for a few seconds, but to him it felt like minutes. Then he finally spoke. "You mean you want to give me the answers and win the show and become the champion and beat my friend and break his unbeatable streak?" Brian said. "Yes, and don't forget, for each episode you will win $100,000. So, we will be giving you that for a good few months. In no time you'll be a millionaire." Jim was stuck in a rut, being out of a job and could really do with the money, and didn't want to pass up on the opportunity, so he took the deal. When he told his friend Daniel that he was going to be his opponent on the next show, he pretended he was picked out of the lottery they had every week for different opponents. When Daniel heard about it, he laughed, but didn't think much of it, because to him it would be just another great win. Jim was thinking about it at home while he was watching TV, and he wondered how it would make a difference to him being given the answers, as he could not see his friend Daniel not be able to answer any question, even if it went on for hours. He rang the number of the TV boss and asked him, and was told that they knew questions he didn't know the answers to. Jim didn't bother ask how they knew he wouldn't know, but he found it strange. On the night of the quiz show, they were asked loads of questions. It seemed like hundreds. Finally it came to the last question, and the host, Mr. Major, asked Jim, "Okay Jim, you are on your last question. If you get this right, then you are the winner of this series, which will knock the current Super Quiz champion off, and you will become the champion. The question is a riddle. What ship has 2 mates and no captain, and you broke it?" Jim found it strange, because he was never given the answer to this question. It was the first time he ever heard it. He could feel the sweat pouring from him and the heat of the lights shining down on him. Suddenly he felt he was going to faint when he looked over and saw his friend Daniel hold a gun to him and say, "I'll give you the answer. Friendship. You broke our friendship by taking that deal." Suddenly Jim heard the voice of the host. "Hello Jim, excuse me, are you okay? We are waiting for your final answer, which would entitle you to be the champion. Let me repeat the question. What is used to measure something, but also a king?" Jim answered, "A ruler." The crowd started clapping and applauding. Then everyone started screaming. He wondered why, and this time he knew he was awake. He saw Daniel hold a gun to him, screaming, "You're no friend of mine," and he shot him dead. Thanks for watching The Assassin Rapper, and if you enjoy the content, then make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of new content. Brenda and Tony were driving along the countryside on a December night. They were on a road trip for 2 weeks as a part of unwinding from a lot of hard work doing up their new house. The plan was to stay in several motels along the way and enjoy the road trip and eating out in diners and enjoying the scenery in between. It was just about getting dark when Brenda was surprised to see a hitchhiker on the road. She said to Tony, "Do you see that?" Tony said, "Yeah, I wonder who is it, way out here." The couple decided to stop, and the hitchhiker said, "Hi there, my name is Paul. I would really love if you could give me a drive just a few miles up the road to the next motel, please. I took the wrong bus and I'm walking miles." Tony said, "Sure, hop in the back." The man's name was Peter. When he was in the back, he began to speak. "I was sure happy to see you guys come along. I must have been walking for miles. I was about to drop unconscious with tiredness from all the walking. And believe me, I'm not fit enough to walk that long. But ye guys, where are ye from? Let me guess. The big city. Or maybe you're from the suburbs. Maybe you're the type of people that look down on folk like me." Brenda and Tony found that comment to be strange. Tony said, "Excuse me? Why would we look down on you?" Peter suddenly pulled out a gun and pointed it to Brenda's head and said, "I'll tell you why you look down on me, because I've a gun held to your girlfriend, or is it your wife's head, and you're probably saying to yourself, 'I'm crazy.'" Tony said in a voice filled with fear and shock, "What the hell, man? Put away that gun." Peter said, "I do the talking around here, now keep driving." Brenda began to feel around her pocket for her phone and pretended to sneeze, to look down and press 911. When she did, she kept the phone on, hoping it would be traced. Tony said, "Look man, I don't know what's going on, okay? But I know that we did nothing to you, so please just put the gun away." Suddenly Peter shouted, "Stop the damn car." Brenda shouted, "Please, no, please stop, just leave us alone." When the car stopped, Peter shot Tony in the back of his head and he died instantly. The hitchhiker shouted to Brenda, "You're lucky I'm not going to kill you, bitch," and he ran out of the car. Brenda picked the phone up and said to the 911 operator, "Please help me, please, my husband has just been killed by some guy we picked up." 10 minutes later, the police arrived and took a statement from Brenda. Brenda was sitting inside her home that herself and Tony had recently refurbished. There was a noise at the door, and a figure walked into the room. She could see that it was Peter the hitchhiker. He pulled out a gun and pointed at her. Then he smiled and said, "Bang, bang." She smiled back at him and said, "I have your money, and thanks for taking this job. He actually was cheating on me all the while we were doing up our new home." Peter said, "I actually must give you credit for this idea and coming up with the 911 call, etc. But as much as I'd love to stay around for tea, I need to get going, because if your police or neighbours see me, then who knows, tongues might start wagging and they might ask questions." Brenda asked, "What do you mean? How will they trace you to all this? They never even saw your face." Peter said, "I know, but I still have to tie up loose ends." Brenda said, "What do you mean?" Peter said, "Don't worry, it will be over soon." He lifted the gun and shot Brenda in her head. Then he walked into her bedroom and opened up her safe with her own finger he cut off just a minute ago. He was going to just go ahead and murder her husband for $100,000, but she had too much a big mouth and told him about a safe full of diamonds that only her fingerprint would open. He smiled when he looked at all the diamonds. Then suddenly he heard a ticking sound. He wondered what it was. He looked around the room to see. Suddenly all the doors and windows locked. He assumed it was some sort of alarm from the safe being opened at a time that wasn't scheduled. He heard the ticking get louder as he looked under the bed and saw that it was a bomb. From the timer, he saw that it would detonate in 10 minutes. For the next 10 minutes, he looked around for a way out of the house, but when the 10th minute came, he exploded with the house.